Today's episode is a short one, but it's a doozy. And it's about true freedom as an entrepreneur. And I have a challenge for you in the podcast. I made this short on purpose so that it can become a totem for you at any moment you need to realign or replug into your true freedom. And so, do you heed the challenge? Well, let's find out, because here's the episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Mind of George show. And today's going to be short, deep, and extremely powerful when you heed the words that I'm going to share. And so my intention with today's podcast is to give you an anchor. It's to give you a glimpse of my light, and it's to give you something that you can reference whenever needed to bring you back home to whatever home looks like for you. These are some words that I wrote after a morning reflection, and these words ring true. For me, I shared them with my team, I shared them with my clients, and they all said, thank you for the reminder. And these are words that in 20 years of entrepreneurship, I always find myself back to. And I'm going to challenge you with this one. The incredible Garen Jones was on our podcast, and that episode was mind-blowing. But he said something that rang true with me so much when he was talking about a book that he read. And the book was The Power of Positive Thinking. And he said that the mistake that most people make is that they read books to listen or to hear it or to read it, but not to know it. And one of the things that he credits all of his success to is not reading just to read or reading just to listen, but reading until it becomes him, until he knows every ounce of it, until it's mastered. And that is a piece of advice that I've carried with me since that podcast. I've re-listened to a couple books 5 or 6 times to where I feel like I can recite them, which means my subconscious is acting in accordance with them. And I will tell you that it's been extremely powerful. And so the words I'm about to share with you are probably 90 seconds to 2 minutes. But here's my invitation for you. I want you to save this podcast. Save it at the top of your list, save a link to it in your phone, and I want you to use it. I want you to listen to it every single day, 3 times a day, once a week, 3 times a month, whatever fits your bucket, but I want it to be an anchor for you. I want it to be an anchor home, because in the game of entrepreneurship, it's a game that's built with uncertainty by design. We knowingly give up the comfort of predictability and safety so that we can have the courage and confidence in ourselves to make a plan and to go where no one's ever gone before, to build something that's never been built before. And that requires a deep level of commitment. It requires resiliency. It requires a powerful heart, a powerful mindset, and the courage to face that every single day until it becomes a reality. And entrepreneurship by design can be a very lonely game, but it doesn't have to be. And when you have a community, when you have a people around you that can support you and remind you of your power, and you have the tools to remind yourself of your power and your why, you simply become untouchable. And so my invitation for you is to listen to today's podcast as many times as required, but set your intention. If you ever feel lost, if you feel frustrated, if you feel anxious, if you feel overwhelmed, I want you to do 2 things. Number 1 is when you feel that way, I want you to come listen to this podcast. And number 2, when you're done, I want you to leverage this community. I want you to DM me. I want you to post in our Facebook group. I want you to reach out to other people in our community. But I want you to understand that we are on your team, and this is a team game. But it requires that you do the work and lean in when needed. And so the words I'm about to share are very true for me, and I hope they ring true for you. Here we go. Here are some of my thoughts after some morning reflection. True freedom comes from playing the long game and aligning with your truth. Not more leads, not more followers, not more money. Entrepreneurship is a gift. It's going to be tough some days. It's going to feel easy some days. It's going to feel like you're doing it all wrong, and then it's going to feel like you're doing it all right. But if you go about your life chasing, everything will feel out of alignment. So how do you get back in alignment? You put your ego in the passenger seat. You stop consuming other people's visions. You stop comparing yourself to where someone else is at, and you wake up every day to help people and make a difference. You don't focus on the outcomes, you create deeper relationships, and then magic fucking happens. But it never happens if you're trying to rush the process. Yes, you can have everything you want, but it might not come as fast as you think. Overnight success does not exist. This is a long game, and I want you to remember that. And so I want you to listen to this. I maybe want you to write your own version. I want you to remind yourself that your self-worth is not predicated on your net worth. Your self-worth should be predicated on the value of the inputs that you put into the world every day. And if you truly realign yourself to your why and to your vision, and you make actions aligned with those choices, and you make actions aligned with that clarity, your success is guaranteed. So whenever you need it, whenever you need to come back home, come listen to this again. And then lean into the community, because you are the greatest weapon that you have. As an entrepreneur, you're one of the very few. You're someone that I love and I believe in because you're making a difference. You're changing the world. You're changing people's lives. You're leveraging your gifts, your story, and your experiences to help other people do the same. And yes, of course, you're making money, but I know you're making money as a byproduct of your heart and the choices that you make every single day. And at the end of the day, when I say relationships beat algorithms, what I mean is that the most important one is yourself, which is what this reminds you to get back to. But once you have it, the second most important one is to take that alignment, to take that vision, to take that clarity and apply it to everybody else into your world that you touch. And when you focus on the inputs, the outcomes are almost guaranteed. So have an absolutely beautiful day, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night, whether it's Monday, Saturday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I want you to remember that you are the greatest weapon that you have, and you are the brightest light in the world. And any moment you find your light dimmed from anything that I shared or anything that I said, I want you to come back home. I want you to listen to this. I want you to turn your light up again and get back into the world. So have an absolutely beautiful day. I have so much love in my heart for you. And most importantly, remember that relationships will always beat algorithms. Now, here's the outro.